we're going to jump right in and get started. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ray Johnson. Likes, hearts, waves, all that, guys. All right, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the second episode of Ask the Expert, where we talk a little about share and sell. But first, just give us a brief intro about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Ray Johnson. I'm the business operations manager for IngramSpark. So I basically oversee everything that's not related to sales and support. So we manage the website, we manage all of our products and services, we manage pretty much all things operational, analytics, all that good stuff. So today I'm here to talk to you about our newest product, which is Share and Sell, which a lot of you guys are already taking advantage of. And it's been so fun. I'm kind of addicted right now, Janice, to looking online and watching how everybody are using this. People are kind of, when we create these products, we never know exactly what's going to end up happening with them. We have all of these ideas and we have all of these things that we're trying to accomplish, but it's so fun to watch how creative our audience is in using these products because they always go outside the box and do something completely unexpected with them. And Share and Sell is definitely no exception.
That's amazing. So let's dive right in. What exactly is Share and Sell? Let's tell the folks out there.
Yeah. So Share and Sell is essentially just a really good way that we created to empower especially authors who maybe don't have a website, maybe they don't have a Shopify store, maybe they don't have a way to transact an e-commerce transaction in any way, shape, or form. We created Share and Sell to allow authors, even with a single book, to sell their book instantly. So you can put your book in production and you can immediately go to create a link that you can share with your family, your friends, your audience. You can set custom pricing. You can set custom time parameters. You can do all of these things. We give you instantly when you create your link, which literally takes about 2 minutes. It's super fast. When you create your link within 2 minutes, we give you a custom URL with a product page just for your book. We give you a embed tag so that if you do have an author website and you want to embed a tag with a buy button, you can do that immediately, whether your site's a WordPress site or whatever you're using. And then lastly, we give you a QR code, which we'll talk more about a little bit later, but a whole bunch of different options that you can use to sell your book. And what's really cool, Janice, is when you put your book in production, instead of necessarily, having to wait a few days for Amazon to list it or for Barnes & Noble to list it, you can literally begin selling your book. I mean, you can create your link in 2 minutes and literally be selling your book the same day.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like that. So that's definitely kind of going into my next question, like what are some of the benefits? So it seems like the instantaneously of the link is one of the benefits, but I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest benefit, I think, anyone can use this. We've seen some of our larger publishing accounts use it, all the way down to people who are creating their first book. Anyone can use it, but I'll tell you who we really created it for. We created it with our new authors and folks who don't have an author website in mind. That's who we specifically targeted here because we wanted to empower you with a way to say, hey, I want to get in the e-commerce game. I don't have a Stripe account. I don't have a Shopify store. I don't have any way to transact something on my own. So we take care of the tax needs for you. We take care of really the end-to-end transaction. We own the transaction for you so that all you have to do is go share a link on social media, go share a link with your family and friends, and we'll manage everything from managing the credit card transaction all the way through to printing the order, shipping the order, support for the order, all of that kind of thing. So it's kind of a turnkey solution so that if you don't have any way to do e-commerce on your own, you can do that literally in 2 or 3 minutes on our site.
That's awesome. So with those generated links that you can make so instantly, like where can we put those links? Like what is the best place or where have you seen authors use these links?
So we created these custom URLs they can be hosted anywhere. We tried to make them social friendly, so we shortened them a little bit. There are certain, they're not as short as we would like them to be at times. There's some social media sites are a little bit more particular about length than others, but we made them friendly. So for instance, let's say you want to share it on your Facebook audience. It's a very user-friendly experience that when you paste that link, it gives you a really nice custom image for your book that links directly to your product page so people can share them on all their social media accounts. They can embed it on their website if they have a website. They can email it around to people, and they can even print out a QR code so that if they want to make a flyer at a book signing or something like that, there's a gazillion ways that we've seen people already sharing these.
That's awesome. So this sounds like too good to be true. Like how much does this cost? Like, is it an exorbitant amount? How much does this cost our publishers and authors?
So what's really cool about this, when we did this, we thought, gosh, we need to do this in a way that kind of, it doesn't just take care of the financial piece of it as far as us actually hosting the transaction, but also doesn't cost you something up front. So essentially what we do is we charge you the print cost of the book plus a $3.50 per unit e-commerce print surcharge. And that's basically like, that covers all of the things that we have to do from printing, from shipping, through to support, to hosting the transaction, taking care of tax, all of that kind of stuff. And here's what's really cool is when you create your link, we don't charge you anything. We don't actually charge you anything until you sell your book. So you're never actually paying us for this service. It's just being deducted from your publisher compensation. So when you make your sales, just like you transact a sale on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and you get your pub comp statement, in the same way, we have a particular e-commerce pub comp statement that essentially what will happen is when you make a sale 90 days later, you'll get that statement, and then we'll just deduct that print cost plus the 350 charge from the statement. The other cool piece about this is the freight. You're not paying for the freight. That's handled by the consumer. We let them pick whatever freight they want to use. If they want your book next day air, they can do that. If they want to get it basic, USPS shipping, they can do that. It doesn't, there's no tax being deducted from your part. We actually do manage the tax on our side, so you're not even part of that transaction. We just do that with the consumer. So literally, it's just your print cost plus a 350 print surcharge per unit that you sell.
That's really great. I love that. But like, can anyone use this service? Is this a global service? Is this just in certain areas? Could you expand on that a little bit? I know Amal Halim says if I'm not based in the US, but a lot of customers are, can I use this service?
So we're working on that. We're trying to expand globally. As you can imagine, tax is always our biggest hurdle, right? With all of these different countries that we're trying to get into. So we've started with US only. Today, you have to be an account based in the US, selling only to US customers. But we are working on expanding. Our hopes for expansion first, we're trying to expand to the UK and to the EU. And then we want to follow that up with Australia and then hopefully Canada. And then we'll see from there. But for now, at least right now, it's US only. Again, we're working hard literally every day to get this expanded though. Just bear with us as we work through all of the tax red tape.
Yes, bear with us, authors. I see you in the comments. I see you guys. Listen, we're here for all of you globally. We're a global company. We're definitely working on that. Which goes into my next question. Can I view the share and sell QR code link before it's generated?
Yeah, so what's really cool is when you create the link, again, it takes you about 2 minutes to create the link. Instantly, when you create it, we'll give you a QR code that you can view, you can download, you can print directly from your computer there. We'll give you a custom URL. You can visit that URL immediately and see your product page before anyone ever sees it, before you share it with anyone. And then we also give you that embed tag. So what's really cool about the embed tag is we give you custom HTML that literally you just have to copy and paste it into your website if you have a website so that you can host your own buy button. So you see all of that in real time. And in addition, you can say, gosh, maybe you're not ready to share that link yet. Maybe you want to go ahead and create your link, sit on it for a few days, think about how, be strategic about where you want to place it. What's really cool is we have an email option too, so that once we create all of those assets for your link, you can just email them to yourself so that when you receive that email, you don't have to even log back into your Spark account. You can go grab them from your email and start sharing them from there. So we've tried to give you a bunch of different ways to make this super easy and accessible.
Okay. So is it possible for like readers to view the inside of the book so they can kind of get a sense of what the book is about before they purchase it with the link?
So today, the custom URL that we give you, it puts the front and back cover, and it puts your book description along with the pricing information. It puts all of that there. We don't have a search inside option as of yet. That is something that we're working toward. However, in the meantime, one of the creative things that I've seen our Spark audience do, which I think is so cool, is for those of you who don't know, when you set up your title, the book description that's open to you, that actually is HTML enabled. So you can actually drop photos directly in your book description if you want to, and those will show up on the product page. So there are some creative ways that we've seen people getting around not having a true look inside feature. But again, that is one of the many, many enhancements for Share and Sell that we're working on and hope to have out soon.
That's awesome. So glad to hear that. So how long, I know we talked about this earlier, but could you tell our audience, how long does it take to generate the link? Like, does it go live just like that? Does it take a couple minutes? How long does that process typically take?
So literally, we put this in beta for about 3 months, and I was talking to a number of different, we've talked to a number of different authors. I was talking to one social influencer in particular who's very big in the author space, the self-publishing space, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Ray, this is incredible. It literally took me less than 2 minutes." I mean, it's something that's super straightforward. If you have zero experience in e-commerce, this is for you. I mean, it's super easy to create. Basically, what happens is when you say, "Okay, I want to create a link for this book," we're going to ask you to set a name for the link. The reason we do that is maybe you want to create 10 links for your book. Well, why would I want to do that? Well, maybe you want to track sales through your Facebook audience, or maybe you want to offer a special price to your family that you don't offer to anyone else. You can do all of that. So by creating 10 different links, you can create 10 different links for 10 different audiences at 10 different prices with 10 different sets of parameters. So maybe you want to make a special available to your fans for a week only. You can set a termination on that link to say, don't make this link active until date X, and then make it expire on date Y, and it will only be available during that time. So maybe if you're running, if you're doing a book signing at a store and you're afraid you're going to run out of author copies, maybe you take that QR code with you and you set a time frame for 2 days, and people scan that QR code, and 2 days later, that special price disappears and it's no longer available. So you can create multiple links within just a couple of minutes each that allow you to track across all of your social media accounts, and then also allow you to, target pricing to particular audiences. That also even allows you to kind of try on different pricing. So let's say that you're not really confident about how you've priced your book, and maybe you want to run an A/B test, and you want to price your book for $15 to one audience and 20 to another, and see if you see a difference. You can do that. I mean, I've seen people using this in a plethora of different ways. So that's all open to you.
That's awesome. That kind of goes into our, my next couple of questions. Like, can you use this for paperback? Can you use this for hardback? Can you use this for ebooks?
So
can you use it for
today you can use it for print. We don't use it for ebooks, and that's just because there's a whole lot of, DRM and things like that we would need to figure out. So we started at the ground floor, which is really all of our print products. So any print product, whether it's paperback, whether it's hardback, you can create a link for those. Each link will only host one book at a time. So you would need a separate, if you have a hardback and a paperback, you would need a separate link for your hardback versus your paperback. However, one of the future expansions that we are working on is the ability to host multiple ISBNs, multiple titles within a single link. So that is something we do have in mind for future use.
Yep. So that went kind of to my next question. How many books can you upload per link? And as you stated, you can do one book per link at this time.
Exactly.
So could authors and publishers see how much they could make before they generate the link? Like if they wanted to say, I want to make $5 a book, is there a way for them to do that?
So one of the things that was really cool that we did early on, and I've got a really smart and creative team that I work with, a whole lot of innovative people that are really thinking about you guys out in our audience every day and what's going to work for you. And one of the things that came out of many whiteboarding conversations that we had to build this is exactly that. It's a calculator that allows you to type in all sorts of different, you can try on all sorts of different prices to see what your compensation would be. So when you go into your account and you create a link, there's a two-way calculator that you're going to encounter. The first one is the minimum price that you need to set your book for. So what that is it's adding that print cost plus the 350 fee. And it's saying, okay, if your print cost is $3 and you have a 350 fee, it's saying your baseline price is 650. So then the other piece of that calculator is showing you what your compensation would be. So if you wanted to say, I want to set a price for my family and friends where I'm not actually making any money, you could say 0 on your compensation and it would say your price needs to be 650. But if you said, gosh, I want to make at least $5 per book, you could type in $5 in the compensation side of the calculator and it will auto update your list price. So it would add that $5 to your 650 and say, oh, you need to sell your book for 1150 in order to make $5 of compensation. So it works both ways and allows you to modulate and play kind of with both your compensation and your list price. So you can find that right balance for your audience between charging a price that you feel like is going to be fair to your audience while also making the amount of compensation that you want to make.
Okay. So let's say I wanted to make $5 for a limited time and I kind of wanted to change that price later on. Is there a way for me to be able to do that, or would I need to generate a new link? And that kind of
So
goes into my...
one of the really cool things about this is every link is completely editable and it's editable in real time. So unlike your book that if you submit a new file, we have to take your book out of production and we have to process your new file and that can take a couple of days. Unlike that, these links are actually editable in real time. So while your link is live, if you go, oh my goodness, I've way undervalued my book. I should be charging, $21 instead of $19. You can immediately go edit your book, and in real time from that moment on, your book's price will update to reflect that new compensation amount that you want to receive. So yes, these are, even though the link will not be disrupted, it will remain live. It will in real time update to reflect whatever changes you make to your link. And that includes not just pricing, but maybe, Janice, you're offering a special price for your audience and you don't want people to take advantage of it. So you say, gosh, I'm going to limit this to only 1 unit per order at this very special price. You can do that. So if you go, gosh, I'm finding people ordering 25 copies of this book at this price that I'm losing valuable compensation, you can quickly go edit that and say, okay, from now on, limit this to 1 copy per customer. And then once they go to add the book to their cart, they won't be allowed to get additional units. So we put you in full control. You're in the driver's seat from start to finish on this transaction.
I love that. So can we possibly see who purchased the books with this share and sell program?
So a couple of pieces on that. You can definitely see when we do sell a book. So within 24 hours, the sales made through your links will show up in your reporting suite in your IngramSpark account. And one of the cool things about that is we've actually created a new side of your IngramSpark reporting called e-commerce. So if you participate in share and sell, you can either see all of your sales rolled up into one, so all of the sales that you made through our retail network, in addition to your e-commerce sales, or you can say, only show me e-commerce sales or only show me retail sales. And you can click a button and it will instantly update to only reflect what you're wanting to see. However, you can't actually see who purchased the book because I guess it's the double-edged sword, right? The one side of the sword is that we're making this super easy for you by owning the transaction, all of the tax, all of the credit card processing, et cetera. But by law, that also means that we have to own the transaction. So when we own the transaction, we're also responsible for the consumer data. So because of privacy regulations and all of those kinds of things, we can't actually show you the consumer that purchased your book. We are working long term to be able to show you regionally where someone purchased your book. So today, obviously, in your reporting suite, we only show you by country. Since this is only available in the US, that's not necessarily helpful right now, like it is in our retail network. But down the road, we're hoping to be able to show a little bit more targeted to say, someone in North Carolina purchased your book or someone in Texas. That's probably further down the road for now.
That's awesome. Could someone possibly sell pre-orders or, limit the amount of books someone can order?
So we can limit the amount of books someone can order, and you can do that as soon as you create your link. You're given the opportunity to say, I only want to allow 10 orders at this price. Or you can say, no, I want to allow everyone to do that. It's totally up to you. You can set exactly the parameters that you want, both for the amount of units available per transaction and for the amount of overall transactions that you make available for that. What was your, I'm sorry, that you asked
Well, I
another
know we
part
said
of that.
minimum. Is there a maximum amount that someone can order from the share and sell link? And is it possible for people to do pre-orders?
Oh, thank you. So I'll address the pre-order piece first. So today you can't do pre-orders, but that is probably the first enhancement we're going to be rolling out this year is the ability for people to pre-order your book and to use this mechanism to host those pre-orders. So in that instance, what would essentially happen is when someone visits your product page, it would say, this book will become available on X date. They could go ahead and place the order. We just would not process the transaction and release the order until the street date for your book hit. So that's the first part. As far as the maximum number of units, we do max the number out right now for units at 25 per transaction. And that's simply to avoid people, accidentally fat fingering and typing in 250 or 2,500 and then, dealing with all of the fallout from that. We're finding that on average, right now we're averaging 1.5 units per transaction. So 25 is way, way beyond that. But there is no limit to the number of transactions that you can take in. So you can set, if you want to set a limit, you can. But if you want to put a threshold on that that says, I'm going to allow as many people as will purchase this at this price to do so, we will not limit that in any way.
Okay. I think another question authors may have is, are these books returnable? Is it set to the status that you have in your account? Or is it completely
That
different?
is, that's an excellent question. So this is disconnected from the retail network, right? So whatever return status you're setting your book for our wholesale retailers, that will not apply in this instance. All of the books sold through Share and Sell are non-returnable by default. So when you hear that, that doesn't mean that we will not handle things like damages, defective, lost in shipment. We'll obviously handle that. We'll take care of that support. You won't even know about it. So when your consumer, if they receive a damaged book, we have an easy form that they can fill out and we'll just replace the book for them and you'll be none the wiser, right? But as far as it actually being returnable, someone getting your book and going, gosh, I just don't want this, we don't allow returns through this program.
Okay. Well, that kind of goes into my next question. How many links can you create? Like if I wanted to put a link, let's say one link on my Instagram and then a different link on my LinkedIn and on a Facebook, just to see how well they're doing on each platform. Could I possibly do that? How is
Sky's
there a
the
max?
limit.
The
Sky's
sky's
the
the limit.
limit.
That's what we want to
If you
hear.
want to create, you could even get as granular as saying if you're a part of 10 different Facebook groups and you want to create a different link for each Facebook group, you could do that. You can create links as many as you want. And I'm seeing a number of ways that people are using that to be able to say, I'm going to create one link for a special friends and family price that I only make available to my 3 siblings and maybe my mom and dad. Or I'm going to create a link that tracks all of my Facebook audience and another one that tracks all of my Instagram audience, etc. You can do it however you want, as many links as you want to keep up with. We'll take care of it for you.
Yes, and we will have this live later. I noticed there's some people in the comments asking. We will save the live so that way you can watch it again or share it with your friends as well. The next question I have is, can you delete or reactivate a link? How long is the link active? Is there a time frame on those links?
Great question. So, what's really cool too, is I should mention, is when you revise your book. So, let's say that you change the file out for your book and we've got to process a revision. We will automatically take your link out of production simply to avoid, we're trying to set a consumer expectation that reflects your brand. So, we wouldn't want something to come out of production and then an order get placed and someone not receive it for 2 weeks because your book was being revised. So we do auto deactivate any links that are live whenever you put your book out of production, either to update the metadata or, to submit a revised file or whatever. But we'll actually notify you on your dashboard. When you have links that are out of production, we'll show you, hey, you've got 2 links that are out of production so that you can go review those and reactivate them. As far as how long those links stay live, it's completely up to you. If you set a termination date on your link, we'll honor that and we'll immediately deactivate it. And when someone visits that link, it'll say that, hey, this is no longer available. And we'll even cover up the price. That way, if you set a price and you go, gosh, I really, short sold myself on that. I need to go create another link and maybe I don't want to edit that one. We'll actually even cover up your price for you. But if you don't set a termination date, we'll keep the live link indefinitely for you.
Awesome. Will it notify me when someone has purchased my book, or could I see how many books that I've sold?
Yeah. So you won't receive a notification per se, but within your reporting suite in your IngramSpark account, again, if you hit that e-commerce button, it will filter and show you exactly how many sales you've made. And I, I don't know how many people in our audience are familiar with our reporting suite, but we overhauled our reporting suite about 2 years ago to make it much more user friendly. So if you go in there, you now can see sales that you've made over the last 7 days, 30, 60, 90, etc. You can see exactly what kinds of books are selling. So if you're an author who writes in 3 different genres, maybe you like to write fiction and you're a financial guru who likes to write finance books, it'll actually show you by BISAC, by category, what's performing the best. So there's a whole lot you can see there. That all actually applies to e-commerce as well. So the same kind of slicing and dicing of data that we do for your normal sales, we also do for your e-commerce transactions through share and sell.
Okay. So I've got two more questions for you, Ray. So the next
Sure.
question is, and I think you kind of went over this earlier, when will we be paid for the books that we have sold? And then where can we sign up for our share and sell?
Okay. So as far as when you'll be paid, it's the exact same compensation cycle that we have for our current retail network. So when you make a sell through our retail network, you get paid 90 days after the end of the month of the transaction. So we're now in February. If I was to make a sell today, I would get paid for that in May. So share and sell works the exact same way. The only difference is we actually do give you a separate share and sell e-commerce compensation statement, just so that you can keep track of that, for your own individual purposes. If you need to be able to easily see the compensation that you made through the retail network versus e-commerce, we split those out so that you can do that. But as far as the terms, they're identical. And as far as how you sign up for Share and Sell, it's super duper easy. If you're in the US, when you log into your account on the left hand side of the screen, you're going to see a new button called e-commerce, and right beside it in yellow, it's got this nice little new shiny yellow button beside it. When you click there, it will put you on the Share and Sell landing page. And then you can instantly just agree to the terms. The terms are just basically, it's all of the legalese about us taking care of the transaction for you, et cetera, et cetera. That's super easy. Once you click through, you can immediately start creating links, and it will show you in real time what titles are actually available for you to create a link against. So you have a title that's being currently revised. Obviously, that one won't be eligible to create a link because we can't sell it yet. It's still in revision. Any title that's in production will show up in your share and sell in the share and sell portion of your account, and you can immediately begin creating links within 30 seconds.
That's amazing. Well, Ray, thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you. This is another amazing opportunity and feature that IngramSpark is offering authors and publishers to get their books in the hands of readers and to maximize profit. So thank you so much for coming on the conversation today. But we're going to jump in really quick to the next portion of this conversation, which is Q&A. So if you're just now joining, if you just caught the last end or the front end and you left on the back end, it's fine. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them in the chat. We'll be glad to answer. Even if they're repeat questions, we know a lot of people weren't able to stay on the entire live, but if you have any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat. Do you print books for Ukrainian authors? So as Ray stated, this is only available for the share and sell feature in the US. And if you're talking about setting up an account with IngramSpark, as long as we have a digital signature in your country, then you will be able to use those services. And Tanisha Marie, I know you've been asking how can you find the feature, which Ray discussed at the last question. So I hope you got that. So yeah, I think we've answered your question so far. Does anyone else have any other questions that we we did not get to answer. Color Me X Essential, how do we promote your book on the social platform? That's not to do with share and sell, but I will answer it really quickly. If you go into our link in bio, there is a Why I Publish link. Any authors on here who wants to have the opportunity to promote their book, just fill out the form there. And if you're chosen, we will put you in for on our social calendar. Are there any other questions? Can you post this live later? Absolutely, Amy. Let's see. Will we ever be able to choose what retailers sell our books? Well, that's not what share and sell. That's a QR code that you generate. I'm thinking about shipping and delivery. Is there a cheaper option for the customers? Good question.
Yes.
And Ray,
so what's really cool, I don't know if our audience will remember this, but last May, when we had our huge announcement where we rolled back title setup fees, in addition to rolling back title setup fees, we also introduced a new simplified shipping model. And that simplified shipping model made it cheaper for you to ship to your consumers. And it made it not just cheaper, but it actually made it a whole lot easier to configure. There weren't as many calculations that you had to be doing on the fly. It was flat, it was easy to understand. We actually ported that over to share and sell. So the same shipping options that are available to you to ship books directly to yourself are also available to your end consumer through share and sell.
That's awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions at the moment, so I'm just going to jump right into the last part, which is one of my favorite parts, which is the giveaway time, which is we're just going to ask you some questions. Make sure you guys were listening to Ray on the live. And if you have the answers, the first person to answer correctly in the chat will be mailing you a fun and special prize. So the first question is, can you name at least 2 places where you can put this share and sell QR code or shareable link? Just put it in the comments. We talked about this earlier where authors have been using this code. If you can name at least 2 places where you would want to put this code, go ahead and put it in the chat. Anybody? The lit conversationalist. I love it. Website and social. Absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's go. I love the conversation. Okay, the second question, who currently has access to share and sell? Right? And I talked about this a little bit earlier. It's talking about like regionally, who has access to share and sell? Let's see. Yes, Mrs. TMG, US only. Absolutely. But we are going to expand it globally. Just give us some time. We need some time. All right. The third question, can you name 2 benefits of share and sell? 2 benefits of using share and sell.
That's a good one, Janice. That's a good one.
Two benefits for authors and publishers to use share and sell, guys. Profit and awareness.
Ooh,
good one. But you've already won, so I have to go with the next one. Generate unique links and reporting. Yes, uncommon.bookmarks. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'll throw something a little bit extra in there for you, Mrs. TMG. You're on it today. All
That's
right.
Awesome.
The 4th and 5th question has to do obviously with share and sell. So has anyone on the live signed up for share and sell? And we will check. If you have, put hashtag share and sell in the comments. Hashtag share and sell in the comments.
This is the fun part, because if you've done it, I probably have seen you, because I'm bird dogging that report right now, Janice.
I'm just going to send it over to Ray.
I'm kind of obsessed at the moment looking at this stuff. It's really fun.
This is awesome. Anyone that has officially signed up for share and sell, put hashtag share and sell in the comments. And if you haven't, why aren't you doing it? No, I'm just kidding.
Do it right now.
Do it right now.
Come on, it's easy.
And we also have some great e-commerce FAQs in the link in bio. So if you missed it or if you need some more information, please check that out. We also have a link where you can get one sheet. So if you want more information on Share and Sell, you can go to our link in bio and submit your information. It's a checklist, and you'll be able to download that as well. Gonna do
Denise,
it today.
Mrs. TMG said she's doing it today. I mean,
Perfect.
she's really wanting you to stuff
I
her box. I'm telling
am.
you.
I've got you, girl. I've got
I
you.
love it. I love
Anyone,
it.
if anyone has used Share and Sell, put Share and Sell in the comment. And then the next question was, if you've used Share and Sell and if you sold a book, put hashtag Share and Sold in the comments.
Ooh, I like that.
So uncommon.bookmark says, as a previous project manager in tech and a person obsessed with reporting, I can only imagine, or I can only, I guess you meant to say imagine what standing this offering up took. Yeah, it was definitely a lot.
It
I'm
was,
sure.
I got to say, our team, I have an amazing team that I get to work with every day. And we turned this one around faster than anything we've ever turned around. And we've, you probably have seen over the last few years, we've rolled out a whole lot of different web offerings. This was the fastest thing and one of the coolest, most creative things I think we've rolled out in a long time. So,
well, it looks like nobody has sold or signed up for Share and Sell. I'm not seeing any hashtags in the comments. So I do have 3 winners. So we're going to go with those 3 today. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you so much to Ray. Let's give some hand claps.
thank you guys.
Emojis, some heart
Thanks, Janice.
emojis. Thank you so much for joining us, Ray. And please, guys, tune in next month for our next Ask the Expert series. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. And keep sharing this story with the world.
That's right.
Bye, everybody.